Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Ladies and gentlemen, when are these people going to stop insulting us with their studies and reports and everything on situations that we already know about? So, the federal government, the same federal government that took part in destroying Black Wall Street, has put a report out that they think we should trust. Let me just say this. The two survivors don't need a report. They need reparations. We already know what you did. And we already know that these women have been fighting for years. And you still won't give them a dime. See, this is different. This is not, oh, well, slavery was a long time ago. You know how y'all love saying that. Although, really, technically, it really wasn't. It wasn't that long ago. So, these women are still living. They don't need a report. They need to be compensated. And this is just another example of you'll do anything except for the right thing. That's all this is proving. And your report, all it makes me want to do is demand reparations even more. So they're just confirming, y'all, what we have always known. They put on a military style attack by white poor citizens that were jealous that these melanated people did pull themselves up out of bootstraps and was able to earn so much money that most of them were in mansions. So instead of doing an identical thing, and they could have pulled themselves up out of bootstraps, they came to attack still and, do what they always have done historically. So anyway, the report stemming from an investigation announced in September is the first that the federal government has given an official comprehensive account of the events of May 31st and June 1st, 1921. Again, think about this, y'all. It's like somebody unalive a person, and then that person that did the unaliving comes back with the autopsy report. And you're supposed to trust this from the one that unalived that person in the first place. So this government were full participants in the destruction of Black Wall Street want us to look at their report. Y'all can shove this report. Where's the reparations? Nobody was crying for no damn report, and you know it. Nobody was asking for no damn report. So, civil rights, which this government still don't care about, because they still show they don't care about our civil rights at all. Anybody else except for us. So they just talk about how barbaric and racist and hostility and the utter annihilation of a thriving Black community. Yeah, we'll couple that with the over 200 that you took out for that very same reason. We're supposed to be dumb and slow and low IQ and all that, but we had the nerve to crop up with some very prosperous cities that you had to come and take out. So anyway, in 1921, there were hundreds of white participants that were also residents of Greenwood. They came out to burn down homes, churches, loot the belongings, and lock the survivors up in internment camps. Well, why didn't those white mobs just go somewhere and pull yourself up by the bootstraps? Isn't that what you run around and say to everybody? Well, why didn't your forefathers do it? So no one today could be held responsible. Well, you don't hold nobody responsible for what they do to this very day. Look at the Sonia Massey situation. Okay, y'all don't hold nobody accountable to this very day. It's not like you improved on that. You haven't improved at all. So the report's legal findings noted that if contemporary civil rights laws were in effect in 1921, federal prosecutors would have pursued hate crime charges against both public officials and private citizens. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Like I said, who needs this report? Who was asking for this report? Y'all do this all the time. You do it all the time. Who was asking for a damn report? Those women, the survivors, are asking for reparations, not a report. What they gonna do with a report? City officials buried the story, and a few survivors talked about the massacre. The Justice Department began its investigation under the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Crime Act, which allowed the agency to examine such crimes resulting in the unaliving that occurred before 1980. Investigators spoke to survivors and their descendants, looked at firsthand accounts, and examined the informal review by the Justice Department Bureau of Investigation. Y'all investigations don't add up to a pile of dog turd. I don't respect your investigations. I don't respect none of this stuff. So anyway, the precursor to the FBI and that 1921 report, the agency asserted that the riot was not the result of racial feeling and suggested that black men were responsible for the massacre. This is what they concluded in 1921. Oh, Black Wall Street? Yeah, white mobs and the military and this government took it down, but it was black men's fault. Yes, it was black men's fault. See, this is why nobody needs your reports. We don't need your reports. Okay? If you're going to present a report, put the money on the table too. The 123-page report correct the record while detailing the scale of destruction and its aftermath. The massacre began with an unfounded accusation. Yeah, we already know. A young black man, Dick Rowland, was held in custody because of some accusation by a white woman. What's new? We got modern day Karen now that does the same exact thing. This is a nothing. This is a big piece of nothing. So anyway, according to the report, after a local paper sensationalized the story, an angry crowd gathered at the courthouse demanding that Mr. Rowland be lynched. The local sheriff was asking the men of Greenwood, including some who had recently returned from the military service, to come to the courthouse and try to prevent the lynching. Other reports suggest that black neighbors offered to help, but they were turned away by the sheriffs. So, like I said, any account that we get from you, we already know it's going to be inaccurate. And number two, why so many accounts? Why so many? Only one thing could have happened. All right, so of course, law enforcement the same law enforcement that's trying to talk to the people were the same ones that participated in the whole thing. Again, why should we trust your word on anything? So the report just detailed the initial act that went on from May 31st until daybreak on June 1st. A whistle blew, and the violence and arsons, and everything became, they said, chaotic, became systemic. So the reports there were up to 10,000 white people that lived in the Greenwood, Tulsa area that participated in the attack of burning and looting 35 city blocks. So they said the systemic and coordinated attack transcended mere mob violence. In the aftermath, survivors were left to rebuild their lives with little to no help from the city. The massacre's impact, historians said, is still felt generations later. And not to mention, they actually give tours through the area where this happened in Tulsa. And to this very day, the city is profiting off of the misery of black citizens that were just trying to make a living for themselves. So even if you don't want to give reparations, why don't you give the survivors all of that money you have made off of the tours going through there? In the years since the attack, the survivors and their descendants and community activists have fought for justice. Most recently, the lawsuit seeking reparations filed on the behalf of the last two known survivors was dismissed by Oklahoma justices in June. And yeah, and we talked about that, and I did a video on that when it happened. And like I said, the same stuff is going on to this very day. Y'all haven't changed. You haven't, not one bit. But you want us to look at this report and think you've done something great. You've done nothing great as long as the two survivors don't have their reparations. And that's where I stand on this whole thing. Y'all gonna have to tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.